let's talk movies. So this video is gonna be my monthly wrap-up for movies. Everyone does these for books, but I recently saw a video by Novella Zoo, I'm pretty sure is her name, and she did a film wrap-up for the month of April, I believe, and I'll leave that linked below, but I just really enjoyed that video, and I really love movies, probably more than I love books. Definitely more than I love books, and I just thought this would be really fun to do because I watched a lot of really good movies this month, and I definitely want to share with you guys, so let's get started. The first movie I watched this month was 12 Years a Slave. I'm pretty sure I watched it this month. It might have been last month, but I think it was this month. By John Ridley and directed by Steve McQueen, and it stars Chiwetel Ejiofor. I have no idea how to say that guy's name. Michael Fassbender, Lupita Nyong'o, Benedict Cumberbatch, Brad Pitt, and Sarah Paulson. This movie was super good. Everybody's acting in this movie was just amazing. Like, Michael Fassbender, he was playing like an evil guy, and oh my goodness, it was amazing. He literally made you hate him, but like, it was crazy. Everyone did such an amazing job. The guy who played Solomon Northup, the guy who played him, phenomenal. Really, it was just a brilliant movie, and I suggest it to absolutely everyone. So powerful, so emotional. It was amazing. The next movie I saw this month was The Quiet Ones. I saw that in theaters, and that is by Craig Rosenberg, Oren Moverman, and John Pogue, and it's directed by John Pogue. And it stars Jared Harris, Sam Claflin, and Olivia Cooke. This movie was okay. I saw it in theaters with my friend. Like, when I came out of the theater, I remember being like, oh, that was kind of good. But now, like, I literally can't remember it. So, it's basically just not very memorable. It's supposed to be a scary movie, but it's about this college professor who enlists some students to help this girl who they think is, like, possessed. And it's interesting, I remember it kind of trying to be too, like, trying to, like, mess with your mind, like, trying to be one of those, like, clever movies that makes you think, but, like, it wasn't, if you get what I'm saying. So, it was okay. The acting was really good, I remember thinking that, but the storyline, nah. The next movie I saw was Penelope by Leslie Cavini, directed by Mark Polensky, and it stars Christina Ricci and James McAvoy. I love both of them so much, and this movie was the cutest movie ever. It's about a girl, it's quite old, it's on Netflix. It's about a girl who was born with a pig nose, and it's like a curse through her family that the next born girl would have a pig nose, and she was the next born girl, and she's basically trying to find a blue blood guy to marry because that'll, like, apparently make her nose not pig. I really, really enjoyed this movie. The next movie I saw was Memento by Christopher and Jonathan Nolan, directed by Christopher Nolan, and it stars Guy Pearce. This movie was crazy. Okay, obviously if you've seen any Christopher Nolan movies, besides like the Batman movies, all of his movies are intense and they make you think and you just come out of it like, what the heck just happened? This is that kind of movie. This movie is about Guy Pearce's character. His wife was raped and murdered, and he is trying to find who did it, and he is trying to kill them. And the weird thing about this movie is there's color scenes that are going backwards in order, and there are black and white scenes that are going forwards, and they end up like meeting, and it is crazy. This is the kind of movie that you like need to have a 20-minute discussion at least afterwards. Like, me, my dad, and my brother, we all had a discussion about this movie after we watched it because we were so confused. Well, my brother had already seen it, but me and my dad were really confused, and it's just one of those movies like Inception. If you've seen Inception, you're just like, I don't even know what's real. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the answer is. It's really frustrating, but it was amazing. The next movie I watched this month was Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring by Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, and Peter Jackson, directed by Peter Jackson. And this stars Elijah Wood, Ian McKellen, Viggo Mortensen, Orlando Bloom, Sean Bean, Sean Astin, Billy Boyd, John Rhys Davies, and Dominic Monaghan. I think I mentioned everyone. I mentioned like the whole Fellowship of the Rings. That's who I consider stars in this. Obviously this movie is amazing. It's based on the book by J.R.R. Tolkien. Obviously, if you didn't know that, where have you been? But yeah, I haven't seen the Lord of the Rings movies since I've seen both of the Hobbit movies. So I haven't seen this in like 3 years. And it's just really interesting to see how different the tones are. Like the tone in The Hobbit is so much more light and happy, and the tone in this movie is just super, super dark. And you can kind of see that like when Bilbo puts on the ring in The Hobbit, he's like invisible and it's kind of a good thing. But when Frodo puts on the ring in this movie, it's like insanely stressful for him, and it's not a good thing at all. And I think that that's like a really good depiction of like the tone of the entire movie, if you get what I'm saying. They just kind of like parallel in what's happening in the world, and it's really interesting to see that. And I forgot how amazing this movie is. It's definitely one of my favorite movies. It's super good. It's like all kinds of emotions running through it. It's sad, it's happy, it's awesome. And if you haven't seen this, again, I don't know where you've been, but if you haven't seen it, definitely watch at least the first one. And once you watch the first one, you're going to have to watch the other ones, so just get on it. The next movie I watched was super exciting. I saw it in theaters, and it was X-Men Days of Future Past by Simon Kinberg, directed by Bryan Singer. And this movie stars a lot of people. I'm just going to read them off. It stars Hugh Jackman, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Peter Dinklage, Jennifer Lawrence, Patrick Stewart, and Ian McKellen, plus a bunch of other mutants that we all know and love, but those are just like the people that were in it mainly. This movie was amazing. Definitely like my new favorite movie. Definitely my favorite movie of this year. If you don't know what it's about there is a war happening in the future, or present time for them, but it's the future for us. A war happening against mutants, against people who help mutants, and they need it to stop or everyone will be wiped out. So they send Wolverine back to the past, and he has to stop Mystique or Raven or Jennifer Lawrence from doing something catastrophic that begins this war. This movie was just so well done. Time travel is a thing for me that it can be done awfully or it can be done amazingly. Like, there are so many bad movies that include time travel, but this movie, definitely not a bad one. They did it so well. They handled it so well, because time travel is just a really hard thing to do, because if you just really think about it, think about time travel, it blows my mind. Like, I do that all the time. It blows my mind. But this movie, it really, really, really did well. And the directors they took some really, like, big steps for, like, the ending and for all through it. And it was amazing. I cannot wait until the next one. Oh yeah, and can we just talk about one thing? Michael Fassbender is so attractive. Oh my gosh. I was watching this movie and I was just like, when he came on screen, I literally melted. I literally melted in my seat. He is so attractive. Okay, past that. The next movie I saw was Warrior by Gavin O'Connor, Anthony Tambakis, and Cliff Dorman, directed by Gavin O'Connor, starring Joel Edgerton, Tom Hardy, and Nick Nolte. I forgot I had this one, but here it is. This is about two brothers that are kind of estranged from their father and estranged from each other, and they get back into the fighting ring, the boxing MMA ring, and it's basically just about their journey. Saying anything would basically spoil this movie, so I'm just not going to say anything. But this movie was perfect. It was so emotional. My brother always told me how really, really good this movie was, and I didn't even understand until I watched it, and I had tears in my eyes on so many parts in this movie. It was so good. Please go watch this. Please. The next movie I watched was The Nut Job by Lauren Cameron, directed by Peter Lepentiotis. Probably didn't say that right. And this stars Will Arnett, Brendan Fraser, Liam Neeson, Katherine Heigl, and Maya Rudolph. This is basically an animated film comedy about a park who does not have enough food for the winter stored up, and they need more food. So it's just their little going about trying to get some food for winter. So first of all, this movie is not an original idea at all. I feel like I've seen like 20 movies with this same storyline. But it was really cute, and it was funny. It made me giggle, and it was, you know, it's a good family movie. I just watched it at my friend's house, just for funsies, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I laughed at, like, some parts, but, like, I wouldn't go see this in theaters at all. Get it on Redbox, that's what we did, and I guess it's worth it if you do that. And the last movie I watched this month was Struck by Lightning by Chris Colfer, directed by Brian Donnelly. And this movie stars Chris Colfer, Rebel Wilson, and Allison Janney. This movie was super good. I've been seeing the book in the clearance section in Books A Million, and I was like, oh, I knew that's a movie. I want to see it. I knew some people that were in it that I really liked. So we watched it on Netflix last night, and it was super good. Like, it's like really sad, but like, you know it's gonna be sad. Like, the opening scene, this is not a spoiler, okay? The opening scene, the main character gets struck by lightning. So you know the whole time that he's gonna die at the end. So, I like movies like that you know they're gonna die, so you don't have to, like, get your expectations up. But you just kind of forget, and he's just really, like, even though he's a douchebag the whole movie, he's really lovable, and I don't know. Oh yeah, basically this movie is about a boy who is trying to go to Northwestern, his dream college, so he can be a reporter or a journalist, and he is hated by most of the people in his school, but he's heavily involved in, like, writers club, and he's head of the newspaper, and he's in student council, but he believes that he's just surpassed all of his other students in intellect, and they're all kind of, like, portrayed as those stereotypical students in high school, but yeah, it's just really funny. I really enjoyed it. I really loved the two gay guys. They were really, really funny and super cute. And yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and I didn't think I would, but I really did, and I'm glad I watched it. So that is all of the movies I watched this month. Sorry this video is super long, but I hope you have an awesome day, and I would love to see some other film wrap-ups. So if you've done one, let me know, and I encourage all of you to do this because it was really fun, and I love talking about movies. So thank you for watching, and I'll see all of you later.